I've done a little bit of trad climbing, notably with Pete Whitaker and Dave McLeod, learning how to place gear, studying the mindset of leading. However, during my short trad career, I have never, not once, fallen, waited, or even considered testing any of this out. The gear. Any climb I've led was physically very easy, likely below French 5A. Mentally demanding, yes, but physically quite straightforward. I've never climbed anything on lead where I thought there was a significant chance that I'd fall. In fact, I'd go as far to say that I was practically certain that I wouldn't fall. I think for a lot of people, trad climbing is about long days of easy climbing on gorgeous routes with a no-fall mindset. The gear is really only there to protect you in the event of things going horribly wrong. A hold breaks, a foot pops, or a seagull dive bombs you and you're off. And dropping it is a few times in a career kind of probability. Speak to any old school trad climber and the mindset is often the leader does not fall. But then there's the other way to climb trad. You know, climbing the really hard stuff. These climbers are more akin to sport climbers, where they only complete the route once and fall dozen, maybe hundreds of times on the gear. These guys trust this gear with their life and their ability to place it, and this enables them to do hard moves on hard routes. And that's kind of what I want to try. I want to push the difficulty up a little bit. But if I do that, eventually I will have to fall on gear. So to continue with what I call the greatest trad apprenticeship ever, and get comfortable trying hard routes, waiting and inevitably falling on gear, I asked one of the best to ever do it to help me out. Tom Randall. Tom might just be one of the best known faces in climbing. He founded Lattice Training and has produced a library of coaching content here on YouTube, but he's also coached elite climbers for 20 years. But most notably, he's a wide boy. He and Pete Whitaker have bagged first ascents on some of the most outrageous crack climbs in the world, and Tom is widely considered to be one of the finest crack climbers on the planet. So when he agreed to help me out, there was no doubt in the style of the route he'd choose for me. Okay, we're back in the Peak District, this time with the other wide boy. And this time I've got my own cams that Wild Country sent me. Look how shiny they are.
You just went from the climbing shop and you said, I'm a trad punter, I don't know what I'm doing.
Bought all that.
And just bought a shed load of really nice, expensive, shiny gear. So I am the right person to be able to ease your mind with this kind of stuff.
Okay. The tactic I want to do with you is basically use this sort of like yo-yo style of leading, where you go up for a bit, you place some gear, and then you down climb, so you get good at learning how to find movement on it.
Yep.
Sometimes you might actually just slip off down climbing, you get tired,
and you
just weight the gear,
and
that's fine, you get confidence, and we just slowly build our way up the route.
Yep.
But what you're doing in this case is you're not doing what lots of people do, which is top rope loads, and get into a zone of comfort where they aren't on lead, and so when they do lead, they go, oh my God, this is so much.
Been doing that for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, me and you are just gonna spend all our time basically on lead.
Okay.
And it will just get slowly more comfortable.
Okay.
So yeah, let's try that.
Okay, so I'll get my shoes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoes on and rack on.
Rack on, yeah, of course. The Left Unconquerable at Stanage is a British classic. Beautiful grippy gritstone with a perfect hand jam crack and a nice little barn door crux near the top. The first ascent was by Joe Brown in 1949. 75 years of British climbing history embedded in the gritstone right there. He climbed this when he was 19 years old, with ropes that could only be described as not very stretchy. It would still be another 28 years before Wild Country would introduce Friends to the market and forever change trad climbing, so Brown likely climbed the Left Unconquerable with no gear until about 2/3 of the way up. Me, however, I've got friends. Lots of friends. Wild Country have been supporting the channel for the past 3 months and are sponsoring this video. They sent over 2 sets of friends, that's these cams, and 1 big friend, as well as a set of nuts. The nice thing about this route for me, with friends, is that there's loads of gear. It's a parallel crack almost all the way up, so a cam is really easy to place. I mean, what can I say about Wild Country cams? They've been making these for 47 years at this point, and the design has been refined beautifully. I don't think they could make it any easier to place. I also really like their Mosquito Pro harness with the 2 rigid gear loops at the front and 3 flexi ones at the back that work really well with a rucksack if you're wearing one. And it's got a red thread wear indicator that tells you when it's time to replace it. But the comfiest bit of kit I have from them is the Synchro helmet. I know wearing a helmet can kind of suck sometimes, but this is as comfy as it gets. Wild Country also make excellent beaners, draws and belay devices, and, especially for my viewers, they are offering 25% off an entire order. A trad rack is a big investment for any climber, so 25% off a full set of cams and nuts is really nice. But you can also grab a fleece like this one, or a set of bomber sport quick draws, or whatever you need. Thanks to Wild Country for sponsoring the channel and this video. Check out Wild Country and use the code BOYD for 25% off your entire order.
So what we're going to be doing here is you're going to be going up to a point where you can get secure.
Yep.
And you're somewhat in control. And I want you to place 2 pieces of gear.
So I'm waiting.
And down climb.
Yep.
What I think is generally a bad idea is close to the ground, people putting 1 piece of gear and lowering off.
Okay.
And down climbing. Like I've seen that happen a lot of times, and then suddenly something pops and then you hit the ground.
Okay.
So always when you're close to the ground, think of having redundancy in the system.
Okay. Tom told me to climb up a little bit and place at least 2 pieces of gear before weighting the rope. I decided that I'd place not 1, not 2, but 0 bits of gear before weighting the rope. Fucking hell! Straight away. Right. I feel better now that that's happened. The overwhelming emotion for me was one of embarrassment. I just felt like such a punter in front of one of the world's best trad climbers. Tom must have been thinking, like, is this guy for real? That is way more polished.
No, I'm nervous. I reckon actually, maybe what might help ease your mind is maybe place this one here.
Just a cam now.
That one. And place that right as high as you can at the top of the crack. Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, one more.
Even though I don't.
I did think that when Mike set off and immediately fell off before anything in was like, oh crap, have we bitten off too much here? And I did have a bit of a moment. But these things can often get off to a bad start. And in some ways, it's a good place to measure whether someone has got the mental attitude to get on with things. Because if they have that and then don't immediately freak out and continue, that's generally a good sign.
Yeah, that's it. Good. Yeah, good.
Oh, I'm off. No. I don't know how to climb this at all, Tom.
That's all right. This is a good start.
It's not a good start. This is a terrible start.
Let me be the decider whether this is a good start or not. Okay, let me remind you of something. What are you doing right now?
I'm sitting on gear.
Yeah, you're sitting on gear, and you're objectively sitting on gear in the most dangerous position that you possibly could of the entire day. You have 1 piece of gear in. If that fails, you're going to hit the ground.
Yeah, also it's also opening up as well.
And what are you doing? You're not freaking out. Well, this is just harder than you expected. So maybe set another piece of gear just above it and make sure it's really good.
Here?
Yeah, just wherever you fancy.
Okay,
Find somewhere good.
All right, we're going to have to talk about the British trad graded system because it's weird. As far as I can tell, the only people who like it or even understand it are Brits. The reason it's weird is because it balls up 2 factors of the route into 1 grade. It considers the difficulty and how bold the climb is. In very simple terms, how much protection there is. So 2 climbs of different difficulty can have the same grade because one is very hard but very safe and one is physically easier but can be a little bit spicy or even downright murderous. Make it even more confusing, it doesn't even use numbers to grade stuff, and what's worse is the choice of words is also bizarre. So the easiest route that you'll likely see that gets any traffic starts at difficult. That's the grade. What about the next grade up? Very difficult. I mean, it's just so British. People are going to hate me for saying this, but as someone who's new to trad climbing, I find the system a bit dumb. I personally think it leaves too much room for error and leaves new climbers climbing stuff that they have no idea how hard or well protected it is. Anyway, in the British trad grading system, there is a very clear critical grade where the plucky Brits simply gave up giving things increasingly outrageous names. After hard, very severe, they just settled on Extreme 1, Extreme 2, Extreme 3, and so on, shortened to E1, E2, E3. Naturally, as a climber, it seems like a perfect milestone to try and climb your first E grade, E1, and left unconquerable gets E1. Since it's a big crack, it's very safe. There are places to place gear almost everywhere, so at no point should I be taking whippers or risking ground falls. As a result, it's a more physically demanding E1. What does this all look like in the French grading system? It comes out at about 6A+. 6A+. Should be a piece of cake.
Yeah, there we go.
I've never climbed anything like this. And it's so easy as well.
Yeah, that's the self-talk that we want to hear. I want to hear, it's so easy. This gear is so freaking bomber. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Eventually, I haul myself off the ground and get some gear in further up, and we try this yo-yo technique, up and down, with the aim of going one move higher each time. The idea behind this is that you're slowly increasing your exposure to being on lead in small chunks, so you're not just chilling on a top rope all day, but you're not overwhelmed with stress either.
So now I want you to climb up again and just refresh in your mind this first bit up to that purple.
Yep.
You're going to get up to the purple, then you're going to weight the rope, and then I'm going to lower you off.
You can see that when I'm climbing below pre-placed gear that I can actually climb this. And this really illustrates just how much fear plays a role in my ability to climb. Because as soon as I go above the gear, it's a mess.
Good. Okay, cool. And then you can just then drop onto the rope now.
In case you don't know Tom, you should know that he is an optimist. Too optimistic, almost.
I think this is really good progress already, though.
You think?
Yeah, really good progress.
What, falling off the first move with no rope?
Yeah.
I did think that when I was watching Mike climb and also prepare for the route beforehand, and his general nervousness and anxiety about climbing was prohibitive and really made his life a lot harder. I really felt for him, but in a lot of ways, because I don't always have the easiest ride mentally with climbing, and I understand when things feel pretty overwhelming. So I thought that was a real disadvantage for him, and that made things objectively much, much harder to be able to achieve that grade and, the hardest route of his life so far with that much of a hard ride with the mental side of things.
Yeah, that's the one. And then you're going to reach up to another bomber jam with your left hand. Thumb up as well.
Ah, this is hard. Oh, f***ing hell. Can I sit on the rope for a sec?
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
Nah, it's not in. Ah, damn it.
Yeah. Be decisive. Reach high.
Why can't I reach?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sort the hand out. Yeah, nice.
At least that's a jog.
Yeah, there you go. You're getting to the point now where I'm watching you, and I can see your stress levels are increasingly building now. And they're going to get to the point where I think a lot of people ignore this point and they just battle on, and then they get themselves into a really big hole.
Yeah.
And you can't rescue it for the day.
I feel like I'm already in the hole.
What we need to do now is just pull back from that.
Okay.
And get into a zone of comfort again.
Yeah.
So after that, when I've climbed it, I'm going to get you to second me. And so you're going to get to travel across the whole of the terrain of the route and start to feel what it actually feels like from a physical sense, but just a little bit more of a mental zone that feels better.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back to the leading process again after that.
I think the issue is compound in nature. Firstly, jamming for me is very difficult, but I can do it if I can concentrate. But the problem really is I just don't trust the gear. If you place one of these properly in solid rock, it's practically as good as a bolt. And to be honest, it's probably better than some of the bolts I've climbed on. I've been taught how to place this, I know how it works in principle, how cams work, but intuitively, my brain doesn't like this. So Tom tries another tactic.
Yeah, the one thing I want you to do is actually just to unweight the rope again.
Yeah.
And then this time I want you to just let go on your hands and let the cam catch you.
Just fall.
Yeah, just don't grab the rope yourself. Just let me catch you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You good?
Yep. Cool, maybe do that one more time?
He's going to drop me further, isn't he?
No.
Ready?
Yep. Cool.
These tiny little falls are just about as bad as it could get on this route. Tom assures me that the cam is bomber and I weight it repeatedly, taking little tiny falls onto it, and it doesn't budge. And I can feel my brain learning that this is going to be fine.
Okay. You can't jam, just do that.
Nice.
So just lay back to it. What do you think?
I mean, it's not the wide boys way of doing it. The layback is highly unregulated.
Frowned upon.
It's extremely frowned upon. Good. Really good.
The crux is where almost everyone falls on this route. Thankfully, it's face climbing. You know, normal climbing. I can figure this out.
Come on, Meg. Come on, darling.
Oh, I'm off.
Yeah, good.
Oh, I'm going to that.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so
I can
let's
actually-
weight the rope again.
All right.
Okay, so now we're just going to start to really dial that sequence in.
Yeah, okay.
But then, just as we are making progress, abruptly, the session is over. Not for the obvious reasons. Amazingly, the rock basically never got wet, it's slightly overhanging, but the rain brought something much more insidious than a lack of friction.
There's a few midges out. I don't know if the camera can pick them up.
I spent my youth in the Scottish hills. I've seen a midge swarm or two. You just have to get on with it. I wasn't about to drive all the way down to the Peak District only to turn away because of an insect the size of a full stop.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh my god, you've got f***ing millions on you.
With a big... Can't even breathe!
You can't climb like this. I can see how many are surrounding Mike.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
A couple of days later, how am I healing up?
Yeah, really looks like you got chicken pox.
Day 2, our last day in the Peak. Tom wanted to do yo-yo leads again before going for a full red point lead to really dial it in. This is a great technique that really works, but it's a lot. It's a lot of psychological stress for a nervous leader. I found the day before so grueling, physically and mentally. I just didn't think I had it in me to go up one move on lead and then go down again multiple times. I was pretty sure that the only way to succeed with this project was for me to simply red point it first attempt on that day.
I always say that Scotland is the most beautiful place in the UK, but bloody hell.
Peak District is lovely.
It really is, isn't
It
it?
really is. Quaint is the word. Okay, I'm just going to be real with you. I'm not feeling good at all here.
No, that is completely normal.
Yeah, I just don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's any consolation at all, I get exactly the same feeling on multiple occasions.
And you're just wondering why you're here.
Yeah, you feel really stressed. You're like, this isn't even fun. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I like climbing.
Yeah.
I thought Mike's chances of sending the route before he went up on his red pointed attempt, or when he was just going for it on lead, were very, very low, because I kind of expected him not to mentally commit on the first go, because there's a lot at stake and he hadn't yet been up on the lead on the crux, trying to run it out, really going for it. And normally that's too much for people. So I would say I really expected to see a very early failure and it to take at least 2 or 3 hours of slowly getting more confident on the route on the red point day.
Nice one. Yeah, good. Cool. Nice.
I slept on that, actual beaner.
Yeah. Yeah, really good. Find a nice, stable position. Really good. Give that a good yank. Yeah, nice, spot on. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, really good. Ah, nice, Mike. Right, once you've got that piece in there, now try and find a position of relaxation. So just move those feet around a little bit, find some really good jams. Yeah, that's it. And then have a little concentration on your breathing as well. Just think about that breathing being nice and slow and considered. Yeah, good. Yeah, really good, Mike.
When I saw Mike get through the first bit of climbing, get established on the ledge with his feet on it, and then progress through a series of hand jams, I was thinking, ooh, this is interesting, because I wasn't expecting it to get to that point so quickly, but also I noticed he was getting into a good zone mentally. He was seeming quite committed, but also relatively calm. I feel like suddenly the chances are going up quite a lot here, because he's behaving like a climber who you typically see top out their route, even if the route's quite physically hard for them.
Yeah, nice. Extend that one out. You are looking like a trad hero. This is what I like. Yeah. Extending out draws, looking cash. So yeah, just keep moving those feet around, getting a really good rest. Can you hear your own breathing?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, swapping through. Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, good.
Nice. Come on.
Yeah, really good.
Come on, Mike. Really good.
Wrong side.
I did think it was really cool when Mike got into the crux and things went a little bit wrong. and he was trying to reach round his harness, and the piece of gear he couldn't get to immediately because it was a little bit too far around the back, and he didn't panic on that. And that was really good to see, because a lot of people in that situation, because you don't want to hang around for a long time up there. You've got maybe 5 or 10 seconds, which is okay-ish to be, but he was definitely taking over 10 seconds, I'd say. And a lot of people would have backed down from that point and said, it's not going right, it's not perfect, I'm feeling nervous, I don't think I'm going to do it. But he just pushed on, and that was really impressive to see. Very, very good commitment.
Match those hands. Come on. Good. Come on. Yes, there you go. Yeah, bring those feet through. Yeah, foot up. Good, you've got it. Yeah, you've got it. Yes, you fucking legend. But this point here, just take a really nice big rest, get your breathing back, because you are romping to glory now. Oh, this is bloody excellent. Yeah, big hold on top. Yeah, that's it.
Above your head.
Okay, it's in my pocket. Come on. I can't believe it.
For me, watching Mike's ascent of Left Unconquerable was one of the more memorable climbing memories I have in many, many years, because it's not actually about the grade a lot of the time. It's not about climbing the very hardest stuff. It's about being with someone who is pushing themselves into a zone of their margins of their abilities. And I think that is such a cool and inspiring thing to witness and be part of. I was psyched out of my mind. Yes, super inspiring, and one of my favorite days out climbing for absolutely ages. And it was very, very cool to be part of it. If you recognize that Mike can do it, and Mike is no special climber with special abilities or super strong, super fit or anything, there's so many other people out there that could probably climb quite a bit harder than they realize if they just took that same approach. And I think that's cool to see.
My boys bring me to tears every time. They push me till I cry. That's what you guys do to me.
That's funny.
I feel like this is an actual dream. Like, I feel like I'm going to pinch myself and wake up.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Do you know, that's one of the more inspiring things I've seen in a long time.
Because you knew how hard I was pushing, right?
Yeah. I like to see you so out of your comfort zone, but then pull it off.